with Sabina Cavalli today. How are you, Sabina?
Hi, Jeff. I'm doing great.
All right, excellent. Why don't we get started here by just kind of giving us a little bit of idea on who you are, and what you do.
Well, first of all, everybody first noticed my accent, so I'll start there. I'm Brazilian. I've been in the United States for 10 years. I started in Code, Minnesota, moved to Illinois 5 years ago. I used to be in the legal field. I was a law professor in Brazil. And when I moved, my daughter was just born, and I couldn't transfer my degrees to United States. I would have to start over. The legal systems are very different. At the time, it didn't seem like the best option for me. I was given the chance to do over. My first tries were really close to my original expertise area. I tried alternative conflict resolution. I tried something with the law enforcement. Nothing really did work. And 5 years down the road, I moved to Illinois, and that's when photography came into my life. So now today, I am a photographer. I like to call myself an artist because I try to create art with you in it, or with whoever is posing for me. And my goal is to let these people feel a level of comfort with me and trust that I have their best interest in mind, so that they can relax. And in doing that, they show their true colors, and they are able to tell the world who they are, what they stand for. And that's good for other professionals who are conscious of the importance of a first impression. Like, we live in a social world today, like social media. And so people that never saw you before will see you the first time on your website on a photo. Or to my biggest passion are the high school seniors and the athletes. And I love to work with this age. They're fun, they're creative, I can collaborate and create super awesome images that really tell who they are, what they stand for.
Excellent. So how was that transition from Brazil to Minnesota? How was that? That had to have been a culture shock.
Well, other than the shock of landing there in November, coming from, I used to live by the beach. Oh, so I didn't own one pair of closed-toe shoes at the time. I was literally shocked by how cold it was. But I loved Minnesota. Minnesota is great. And it was I made great friends there. And when I had to move out, I moved kicking and screaming. I wanted to stay. And then I fell in love with Naperville. I love being here, and I hope I don't have to move again.
So, I guess, I know you were in search of different professions, once you came over. What really got you about photography? Were you doing it already as a hobby, or, what really took hold there?
Actually, photography, it was so interesting. I was desperate. I feel like I walked through the desert for 6-7 years trying to find something that I could fall in love with. Mm-hmm. I craved being passionate about something, and I just couldn't find it. And I attended a luncheon put together by Naperville Moms Network. Okay. And they had a life coach speak that day. I heard her speak. She handed me the key to my life, and I was so shocked. I walked out of that lunch and I didn't meet anybody. I just went home And what she said was that we spend our lives struggling, striving, because we tend to dismiss the gifts that we have. If it comes too easy, it cannot be valuable.
Right.
So we look for the things that we have to work for.
Yes.
And then I thought, wow, what comes easy for me, Yep. So I went home and I started thinking I was reading at the time about flow. And flow is this optimal state of attention. And And it happens when you're doing things that are easy enough for you to continue to be engaged and not get frustrated.
Right.
But it's hard enough to keep your attention and to challenge you. And at the time, so I was like, it was the end of my first year here in Illinois. I had gotten my first DSL camera from my husband for Christmas. And I was in love with that thing. I couldn't take it off of my face. I was learning. I was literally learning how to push a button. But, you know, it gave me such a flow. Like I had just like back surgery a few months before, and I would limp and complain that I was in pain. And then I would put the camera behind in front of my face and bend backwards and hang from the ceiling. And my husband was like, this cannot be real. Like, your pain must be psychological, because you get this freaking camera and you're doing all this, you know, all these crazy things. And then you go back to limping again. And I knew then that I had that kind of flow with the camera. Now, mind you, I didn't know how to photograph. I couldn't call myself a professional photographer. Now, I knew that I had been a researcher all my life. So I have a PhD in law, and I was a professor, and my job was to learn to teach.
Right.
And so I knew that I could educate myself. And I also knew that I needed to be both a businesswoman and a photographer. That only be the technician wouldn't take me where I wanted to be. Right. And I didn't want to be swallowed by that. So I needed to understand the business. I needed to understand, I needed to better myself first, because I was going to be the face of my business. So I started immediately working in 3 different areas. But the very interesting thing is that the moment I decided that photography was it, and decided to get that education, all doors started opening. Everything started flowing. And so I started taking business classes with our professional association, and I started like reading everything I could put my hands on about business. And I started working on my own person, you know, learning soft skills, learning to develop my emotional intelligence. Mm-hmm. And on the other side, learning photography. And I am a life learning person. No, learner, whatever. English sometimes gets in my way. And so it's been 2 years of this crazy uphill ride of learning, and putting it to practice as best as I can, you know, and developing a business that was growing like organically. I was trying things, and some things would speak louder to me, and then would take me to a different path. And so right now I would say that my passion is really to work with people. It's more than the photography. The photography is just a tool. What I love is to be able to bring out that beauty that I see in each person. That
they may not see it, right? It's
always cool. Most people, some people don't see it, and some people are afraid to show it in front of the camera. Like, they freeze because they're so conscious of all that equipment, you know, and how they're going to look. And I guess that's a big point, is that I feel like that because I hate to be in front of a camera. If I trust that the person that is photographing me has my best interest and knows the skills that she needs to know to make me safe enough that I'm not going to look horrible, right, I will relax. And then, of course, I'll smile, and my muscles will move in a different way. And you will be able to see that, because when we're moving and talking, we show that personality, and that's what people see. They don't look at the very little, you know, that my eye is smaller one side or bigger the other, whatever. Yeah. And when we freeze the image, sometimes, you know, like we're like, now you can see all those imperfections. Right. So when you bring that sparkle out, you can capture that moment when the sparkle is there. People will see that. They will forget to look for the little blemishes, or, we all have it. And I told my daughter that, like, she's 11 now, it's a girl coming up, and I was like, the beauty is in the imperfections.
Right.
Be imperfectly perfect, because you're just perfect like you are.
Right.
And just show your colors, show your light.
That's good advice. That's excellent advice to walk with. So when you're looking, you're working with your clients, and you're working with the ones that, are really self-conscious. What's given you, I guess, the most satisfaction with, when you look at your job, and I know you shared some of it already, but if you had to take a step back and look at some of the biggest gratifying moments that you've had, does any one instance stand out?
Sure. Well, I think it makes my day when someone looks at me and says, wow, like I really love my image there, or you like brought my daughter's personality out, or something like that. When people see themselves in a better life, people are so critical of themselves.
Right.
And when they look and they see what I see, that gives me the kick. And one time I organized we did a very big event for under-resourced high school girls. Mm-hmm. And I put together many teams of photographers, makeup artists, and hairstylists. And we got all these girls and we gave them the high school portrait experience that they cannot afford. And one of these kids came up, and she later told me that she looked like a princess, that she never saw herself so beautiful. And she was beaming, and her mom was crying and said that, she had a tough life. She was trying to raise 3 kids on disability, and she could not provide this kind of thing to her daughter, who, was a winner, because despite all her difficulties, she didn't drop off the school. She was graduating, and she was doing the best she could with what she had. And so this kind of things just make my day. I live for this kind of feedback.
Excellent. So if you were standing in front of a group of people that were in the same situation that you were, searching for something to do, searching for their passion, thinking about taking a leap, and really going for it with a business, or, with a new career or whatever, what kind of advice would you give to them?
Leap, and the net will appear. I have that on a frame, and I look at it every day. And that to me means that you have to leave outside your comfort zone. Because if you don't allow yourself to make mistakes, if you don't allow yourself to try things that challenge you, you will never see what's on the other side. I think, that need of control and perfection before you even take action will never happen. Right. And it hinders growth, and it hinders creativity. And as I said, I think the beauty is in the imperfection. And if you try, you're already ahead of the curve, because many people won't ever try.
Right.
So just go and do it. Just do it. Now, of course, prepare yourself. I think fear is my best friend, because I don't consider fear as something that should freeze me and prevent me from trying things. But fear is an emotion that tells me that I need to get prepared. I cannot just go there and make a fool of myself. So I prepare to the best of my abilities. I study the situation ahead of time. And then I go. And then if I don't rock it, I am compassionate to myself. And I think, well, did I do the best I could with what I had then, with all that I know? And if my answer is yes, then I say, well, good for you. So learn from the situation. If it didn't go as well as you expected. What can you improve? Move on. Okay, turn the page, move on. If went well, awesome. Tap on the back. What can I improve on again, and keep moving on. So I think I'm always jumping, and I always like with that fear. Like I was in fear to be in front of this camera today. You know, I'm always super conscious that my accent will get in the way, and people won't understand what I'm saying. That my nose is too big and it's gonna be in my way here. But here it is, like I'm here. And I just think that's the beauty of life. Like I wake up every day and I think this is a new day. Thanks God for new starters. Like, you know, you can always do over. Right. And just prepare yourself and jump. Right.
That's excellent advice. Yeah. And it's one of the things that I like to say is, if you go into business to make money, you're going to probably fall on your face. If you go into business to follow your passion, follow something that is deep rooted inside. So when you do feel the fear, and if that's not big enough, you might have a tendency to back away, right? And you might shut down. You may turn the other way. That passion and that purpose is so strong that you cannot quit because people depend on you, because people need that energy. You're going to keep fighting, and there's never a situation where things don't go. Perfectly. That's okay.
So sorry.
That's okay. But just continue to look forward, fail forward, as they say. And you'll get there. And I'm sure I can just tell without even asking. I'm sure you're doing very, very well. And I'm excited to share what you're doing with the rest of the group. Very soon. If people were trying to get a hold of you, what do you have going on right now, and how should they get a hold of you?
Awesome. So I have a website. My website is www.sabinacavalli.com. And I'm always on Facebook. I'm old timer, still trying to get around the social media thing. So I know that all the high schoolers love Instagram, and I'm forcing myself to go there now, and I'm trying to learn Twitter and all that stuff. But mostly my work is on Facebook and my website. What I have going on, I do work with high school seniors a lot, and now we're getting into the season for either the stragglers, which are like the seniors that didn't take their portraits right last fall and are in a hurry to get them done before graduation, or the juniors that are planning ahead and getting ready with time to spare. And I also work with professionals that, either are working on their websites and need good commercial images to show their products and show their businesses, and headshots. Headshots are so important. And I do pay a lot of attention to body language and, work with mental exercises like imagery so that we can make our micro muscles really work in our favor and show that best face forward to, cause a very good impression. So, and oh my God, okay. So I work with an organization called Operation Smiles, and in conjunction with our professional association, which is PPA. And in April, second week of April, after Easter, we're doing the celebration of smiles. And if you go to my website, you'll find information about it. But like, you come in and you can experiment my photography, and you donate whatever the minimum donation is, $24. And the goal is to raise money to fix cleft lip and cleft palate in kids in third world countries. And so in exchange, you get a gift portrait, and you help save smiles. These people, they don't go to school because they are ostracized, because they look, they look different. And in some cultures, this is seen as a sin, a sign of people are blemished.
Sure.
So if you want to help, just call me and we'll schedule a session, and you'll get to experience my photography and help someone to get a new smile.
That's excellent. And make sure that when you do share with the group that you do mention that, because that's excellent.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah, so I think that's all the time that we have, Sabina, and I really appreciate you taking the time to share your passion, your experience, and your business with the rest of the group. Before I go, is there anything that the group can do for you, or you can do for the group? Is there anything you're looking for out of them?
Oh my gosh, I love meeting people, and I can always collaborate with store owners, do cross marketing, or every professional that needs headshots. I love to get involved with the community. So if you have some fun projects that will benefit our community, let me know. I'm open to getting to know people and finding ways of collaborate.
Excellent. Okay, so yeah, when we share, hopefully people will reach out and they'll connect.
Yes.
So anyway, thanks again, and we will see you very soon online.
Thank you, Jeff. Thanks for putting all these people together. I think you're doing a great job.
Thank you. I appreciate it. Bye-bye.
Bye.